Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening once again, Patriots. Let's see how we go tonight. We, had a show ripped down on Monday. I think they like that word Israel, and I don't really care because we are going to continue to talk about what we want to talk about, and what we want to talk about will be what is the truth. So, Facebook, jam it. We don't really care. Okay, we're going to continue to put out what's really going on in the world, and I think we're all enjoying doing it, guys. We've had our little cruise, had a good impact. We got a lot of stuff out there, and it's been good, but we got a lot of work to do yet. Okay, and we got to get a lot of people together, which is starting to happen. All right, now I don't know. I haven't seen too much on the flood cleanup in Brisbane, guys, but I hope it's going really well. And we prayers and best wishes for anyone that was caught up in that schmozzle up there. And I'd like to know if anyone is up in that area, if they're pushing you into a digital ID to get your fire money or flood money or anything like that, guys. That would be quite interesting to me. Thanks for a couple of people looking into what we spoke about last night with the conscription, but as of yet, we haven't been able to nail anything down. So, again, guys, with your help, it's all good. Okay, smart meters. What's changing, guys, with the Australian Energy Market Commission, the AEMC, and thank you to Craig Vine for sending this over. The Australian Energy Market has introduced a new rule to speed up the rollout of smart meters across New South Wales, Queensland, and South Australia. From the 1st of June, first day of winter, guys, 2025, all customers will be required to upgrade to a smart meter, meaning the option to opt out will no longer be available. So, do you think there's a need to get to your councils this month, guys? Do you think there's a need to voice your opinion? Do you think there's a need to go there with multiple topics that you can smash them with, the one including being a number? All right, what do we call it? Event number for the crime. Come on, we've got a lot of stuff now, guys, and we're going to have to use it, okay, and we're going to have to move on. I know people are, but we need more people that doing the same thing. All right. Because, it's making a difference, people. It really is. Okay, quickly, what's going on out there? Right. So they've, the charge of displaying a Nazi symbol was linked to wearing an arrow cross, which is the group's insignia. Now, this is a guy who's down in South Australia, and he's got off, and the cops dropped the charges, all right, for the nasty salute, saying, there was a $20,000 or face a year in jail. Well, they've dropped it, and they're going to pay his legal costs. So there you go, guys. Another win for us. Another win for the good guys. Okay. Now, orthopedic surgeons resigning from Canberra Hospital, citing concerns over operational decisions. I've had a look at this, guys, and it's all just hierarchy decisions. They will not put up with it anymore. And the medical industry seems to be changing, guys. It really does. I don't know how much I can say, but yeah, I had a good conversation with someone just yesterday, the day before, and even the top people in their actual fields, guys. This gentleman I spoke to is about to, yesterday, he's about to leave and go on he's going to Canada, he's going to Houston, he's going to London, he's going to Amsterdam, I think, but all to do with new stuff into actually cancer research, guys, and a different way to do it, right? And they're taking a different approach rather than just taking the knife with everything. So some of these big people have woken up, guys, all right? And it's thanks to the likes of yourselves and other people that have stood up, you know what I mean, and made the difference, that these people are now having a change of heart, Are they still got things to answer for? My word, they have. They really have. Okay, but at least they've turned now, and that means if they're helping us, that's good. They're on our side, and we can utilize them. Maybe they can make up for their bad decisions. But, yeah, I think this gentleman I was talking to was quietly remorseful without actually saying it. So, well done, guys, all right, because, times are changing, but the times are going to get tougher because as we change and we keep pushing forward and start doing things, are going to come in just like they're doing here. Now with your smart meters, they'll poison you to death. All right, so you need to have a look out there on TikTok. There's ways, if you're caught in this schmozzle, you're going to have to stand up, guys. Come in when you're right, Caz. But if you are caught up in this schmozzle, guy, there are ways to actually limit that smart meter and what it can do. But what they want to do is control your life through your smart meter. Okay? That's all they want to do. So, yeah.
No, that's right. All right, here we go. Brace yourselves, Dave. Trigger warning.
Oh, no.
Known for some time what the AFP thought and what the ASIO, now security agencies, thought about the events that occurred, including the caravan. And I make this point, though, that the fact that it was a hoax does not mean that it didn't create fear for the community. It did.
You idiot!
So whilst it was a hoax and the motivation was about criminal activities and not related to those issues, the fear that it created was very real.
That's not the issue. The issue is the fear was used to create legislation against us.
Against us. That's what I was about to say. The fear was instilled in us, not the fucking Israeli Jews, man. Okay? Not them at all. All that fear porn was targeted at us people.
That's right. No, that's right. They're using this stuff to legislate against us. So we're the victims here, not the fear, not the Jewish community, although I was sure that they did feel like victims at the time. We're the victims. We are the victims of the crime here. Okay, and we want this damn legislation gone.
Exactly. They got to turn it around, man. I mean, we need to really push on this one, guys, because they can't get away with this. They've come out and just said like it was all bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, hello. I don't know, guys.
Well, somebody's done up this. Okay, mannequin hijacks plane. It was dead silent, so
and got away with it. Yeah, and got away with it.
Yeah, they got away with it, like, seriously. All right, now this has created a furor on social media. This American couple.
Wombat. mother. It's like, oh, it's chasing after her.
Let's let him go.
No.
She returns it, okay, but the mother's already left the scene. And look, this is Tucker Carlson identified us as basically being a culture unique with regards to how we respect our animals. Like, oh, you can't kill that spider. It's a good spider. And he's absolutely correct. And the reason being is because most of us have grown up around Aboriginal people, so we've learnt to actually really respect them. What that silly woman doesn't know is that it's a mammal. Pheromones are how the animal and the baby bond. So that mother may well reject that now that she's put her scent all over that baby. So, like, just unbelievable, you know. They just really don't get it, do they? But we know this because.
Yeah.
Well, the reason, well, it happens in history. Like when Rome made a conquest of Greece, because the Greek culture was so rich, they actually adopted it. Similarly here is that even though the white people have like moved in and did conquest on the Aboriginal people, a lot of the stuff we actually have like adopted, and one of them is our great respect for animals. So, you know.
Yeah, so to all any of my American friends coming out here to visit or anything, don't, you know, come see the Guru or someone and we'll take you and show you some animals. But we won't be doing that to them, guys, because that's our wild. You know, we got the cabal trying to kill them. We don't need our tourists coming in here who obviously meant no harm, but, you know, just dickheads, you know. And, but Caz is exactly right. That now could be one mammal gone, you know, and they're killing enough, guys. They're making it really difficult for the wildlife out there at the moment, so.
That's exactly right. All right, so somebody that I really like is this girl, Madison King, and she is actually running for the federal parliament in the federal Senate in Western Australia, and she's actually got a lot to say that's really good.
Let's make this any more clear. The Australian government will send your kids to war, wipe out your lineage, take your assets, and change the demographics of Australia. It's been happening for the last 10 years, more so in the last 2 years. We have people coming into this country every 46 seconds. One person every 46 seconds. Secondly, we are not a two-party system. We never have been. We're just lazy voters because people have bad habits. Repeating bad habits, even knowing that what you're doing is adding to the problem. Vote for independents like me in the upcoming federal election. Get on board, get behind us, donate to small parties like myself, because how else are we going to get anything? The two-party system already take your taxes.
All right, so, and she's completely correct. And one of the things that's really funny is Ben Fordham's actually been covering this. You won't believe this. Yes, Ben, we would, because we've been talking about it. We said it was coming and now it's here. Anyway, you won't believe this. The number of migrants being let into Australia is outpacing births 4-1. But it hasn't always been this way. No, it hasn't always been this way. So for everyone, like a traditional Australia or a traditional native Australian, so we who are born to this, which is basically Aboriginal or whatever, European or whatever you are from, for every one of us born, like that is just complete change of demographics. Complete change of demographics.
Man. But and look, we do have to get beyond the independence, guys. I don't know what's going to go here. You know, we got three of them come together, the parties, and then we got Clive, who, as I said, I still haven't had a phone call back. I've done the radio interview in America this morning, you know, and I just blatantly said exactly what I've done to try and get hold of someone, and no one's returned a call. So, you know, it's the way it is.
That's it. But, now this guy we covered him a little bit, but here's the actual interview. Listen to how this creep gaslights him.
Question comes from Morgan Cox. Hi, Morgan.
Hi. I recently got a rent increase notice for an additional $180 a week, which works out to be about 10 grand a year. I tried to find a cheaper place and there just aren't any. What little is available, there's dozens of people lined up. Lots of them are immigrants and they have plenty more money than I can possibly get. I'm already working 2 jobs. one more rent increase, and my family, my 1-year-old baby, we're facing homelessness and we've got nowhere to go. My family's already been forced out of Sydney for the same reasons. I want to know, is the government going to cut immigration to match housing availability, or are we just going to keep going until every regular working Australian is homeless?
I'm so sorry you're going through that, and it's a story we all hear right across the country, obviously, particularly in the bigger states, around the bigger cities. We have been working very hard to get migration levels, immigration levels down to something we think the country can manage.
You've increased it 1 million.
And what we've found after those efforts is that arrival numbers have returned to about pre-COVID levels, but we're not managing the exits, the people returning back home if they've been here studying or they've been here for short-term skilled work, and we're working very hard on that. So we do want to see those migration numbers get back to something like normal for Australia. We also know that migration has been an important part of keeping our economy going. You know, we also have
All right. Did you hear that?
Keeping our economy going like this, yeah.
No, they're actually propping it up. He's actually just admitted there that they flooding us with immigrants to try and prop up the economy because it's that bad.
A very tight labour market with lots of skill shortages. I know in health, in hospitals, in aged care facilities, we struggle to keep those operations going. So it is a fine balance. Governments of all political persuasions always have to try to strike, but we know we need more houses. Like, we just need to get building more houses, and partly that's why we have focused on a range of programs to get more houses built, including affordable houses. But we also need to clear some of those log jams in planning approvals and the sort of infrastructure that stops new housing being built, whether it's footpaths, sewage and water connections and things like that. So look, this is, I know that I think you got up to 7 or 8 as the cost of living. Housing is a huge issue in the community. Well, I would say health is as well, but housing is a huge issue because I hear far too many stories like that.
Well, housing is the number one issue of cost of living. It is the cost of housing, and there are, again,
supply as well.
It's supply. No, but the cost of living crisis is personified in the housing crisis, and there are people like Food Bank, you would know, does a report every year on this, and people are actually going without food because that is negotiable, whereas having a roof over their family's head is not, and so it's absolutely huge. And the migration thing, it is complex because, of course, one of the shortages we have is enough people to build the houses.
No, it's not complex. It's not complex. It is not complex. First of all, you're bringing in far too many people far too fast because you need the votes, and you just admitted that it's propping up the economy. Then you have this situation where you got 49% in taxes. 49%. So in the outer suburbs, in a house in Melbourne, $750,000, $330,000 in tax. And then on top of that, you have to pay stamp duty.
Yeah, stamp duty. Yeah.
No, we've got a management problem. The government that is trying to manage it they're our problem. The government is the issue. It's not even really the immigrants. Like, seriously, it's not even them. They're just taking advantage of a situation. It's their policy that's the issue. Oh, and here's another one, Dave. I'm just going to give you a trigger warning. Try to brace yourself. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. Breathe deeply. Are you ready? Here we go.
I don't go. Hit the button.
$100 million of taxpayer funds to remove people from very flood-prone areas of the Lismore region. These are flood-prone, low-lying areas where the household elected to move out, to move to higher ground, and the house would effectively be condemned so that the community could be safe and we could reduce the exposure of affected communities and families in the event of a natural disaster. Look, unbeknownst to me, in all candour, I wasn't aware that we were currently in court trying to execute eviction notices on some members of those communities when Tropical cyclone Alfred emerged in the last week. This is a completely unacceptable set of circumstances. It's not tolerable to have so many people located in flood-prone land still in danger and have SES personnel, volunteers have to go and check on those households, check on those communities to keep them safe. We bought those houses so that we could keep communities safe, so that no one would live there. And to have squatters move in off the back of that is completely unacceptable. So I've made...
What's unacceptable is you. We know what you're up to, okay? This is your 15-minute city plan, and now you're upset because squatters are actually... Because you've got so many homeless that people are having to squat. And so what you're doing is you're going to legislate against squatters. Well, squatters' rights. Squatters have rights in this country, okay? So, like, we know what they're up to. Like, look, we've just got to get rid of these people. I don't know how we're going to do it, like, because they're obviously going to cheat and basically re-elect themselves. But we've got to really wake up the dummies as well. The normies have got to be woken up. And I just don't know how to do it. How can they actually sit there? They just don't know what we know because they're tuned into the mainstream media. And the mainstream media, as far as I'm concerned, is completely and utterly criminal.
Oh, mate, they're just gaslighting it big time, mate. They are going off. They are just dead set going off with the propaganda bullshit, you know. Trump's tariffs and this, that, the other, you know, like, you know, Albanese and that couldn't do it.
Apparently, Trump's not picking up Albanese's phone call. Good. I hope he doesn't either. Don't pick him up. They're a bunch of muppets. You know, they're a grubby bunch of mutts. Okay, don't pick up your phone. That would be my advice.
Just get rid of them.
Well, no, like, look, just release information that will expose them so we can actually hold them to account because they need to be going to court. They need to. We need public arrests of these people. All right, Russell Broadbent, somebody that I actually do like.
And here, your independent member for Monash. Thanks for joining us. The Australian Human Rights Commission is copping a lot of heat, and rightly so.
Yes.
Last week, respected Liberal MP Julian Leeser delivered a ferocious attack on the Commission, saying its very existence should be called into question for failing to defend Jewish Australians. He said the Commission is flailing and failing, and that if the Commission cannot fulfil its purpose, we must question its very existence, which includes a budget of $43 million and 200 staff. I wholeheartedly agree with Julian's sentiments. Yesterday, the Commission released its report titled Collateral Damage, What the Untold Stories from the COVID-19 Pandemic Reveal About Human Rights in Australia. I don't need a report to tell me about the damage, despair and desperation left in the wake of Australia's response to the pandemic, because I've been listening to these untold stories, untold because so many were censored, for the past 5 years. Remember the hundreds of days in lockdown, mask mandates, limits on how far you could travel from your home, limits on how many times a day you could leave your home, limits on how much toilet paper you could buy, and vax mandates so you could go to work and feed your family. Of course there were going to be consequences for such draconian, inhuman rules and excessive government overreach. This report from the Human Rights Commission is way too little, way too late. What's the Commission doing about 40 unvaxxed fireys who are still refused the right to work due to COVID mandates? What about...
Look, you know, and it was only just the ADF, or was it the AFP that actually, that have removed their vaccination requirements as well. So now on the Human Rights Commission, I contacted when this whole COVID thing first started, I contacted them. I did. And basically their response to me was, oh, well, you know, it's just the government's responsibility. It's the government's choice. Like, I could not get anywhere with them. So now that they've come out and said that, dragging their feet, no doubt, like, seriously. But, like, I posted up some footage yesterday on Facebook about, like, what, you know, it was horrendous. Dave, you're on mute. Dave, you're on mute.
Right. Yeah. So people are going to have to pay for it, Caz, but we're getting there. You know, we're getting there, guys. We're moving forward. You know, we're exposing. There's so many people getting exposed. There's so much going down over in the States too. These pedophile rings. People are getting busted here in Australia as well. You know, so look, we are making ground, okay? And yeah, our topics are getting out there and people are becoming aware of them. So.
Well, yeah, and people are actually very embarrassed by their behaviour as well. Like they bought into it, which is, this is good. Like, we understand you had a wall of information that told you one thing, and we seemed like we were crazy. Well, we're not so crazy anymore, are we? Now, you just mentioned the pedophiles. Now, this is interesting because General Mac News, they report a lot of good stuff. And remember that Maui police chief, John Pelletier, who ordered the victims to be trapped in the Lahaina fire? He's just been named as a co-conspirator in the Diddy case. And it's always the same people. It's the same group of players, and they're always connected. And it's always leads back to children.
Yes. Yep, had this discussion in a meeting today, actually. It's just sickening, man.
This woman, I've decided to include this one because I've seen so many of them. So many people are leaving the Democrat Party right now as we speak, and they're actually like putting up and posting about why they've left. And it's really interesting. So have a listen to this girl.
Critical of the Democratic Party right now is because I literally just left it, just like a lot of other people. I was a bleeding heart liberal like all of you. I mean, blue hair and everything. I mean, believe me, I have plenty of pictures proving that I was all in. If you would have asked me a year ago, I would have said there is no way in hell I will ever vote for Donald Trump. But let me tell you what changed my mind. The big moment for me was when the left started trying to push this like Nazi, Hitler, fascism narrative that they're trying to push right now. Like, what y'all actually did is made a lot of us really go research Trump even harder. And we started to realize that a lot of things that you guys had shown us about Trump and things that he had said were taken way out of context. A lot of us started noticing a pattern where you guys were showing us like little 10-second clips of a 10-minute conversation that did not reflect the entirety of that conversation at all. So that was number one. And then around Thanksgiving, all of a sudden you guys are telling us that it would be better for us to sit at home and spend the holidays with no one than it would be to go home to your family who voted for Trump. When I heard that, I was like, okay, now y'all are wildin', because you cannot tell me that it is better for your mental health to sit at home alone than it is to go and spend time with your friends and family. Y'all had actual therapists getting on TV and telling you guys this. And the sad thing is that it would have been better for them to encourage you to do something like find other people that believe the same as you to spend the holidays with, but they didn't. They told you to stay in your home and spend the holidays with no one. When that happened, I was like, okay, I got to give this party a second look because something is not right here. But honestly, if you want to know the truth, what really did it for me is realizing how freaking depressed I was when I was functioning as a liberal. Liberalism will literally make you hate yourself. It will make you hate your family. It will make you hate your friends. It will make you hate everything about the world. And I'm not saying that you should just be ignorant to everything that is going on in the world, but the way that the left chooses to internalize everything that is going on in the world is detrimental to their mental health. And this is why people try to tell you that empathy is dangerous. But even that you want to take out of context. Empathy itself is a great quality to have. Empathy without discernment is detrimental. You have got to be able to discern when you are carrying too much and you need to take a step back, and none of you are doing that. Believe me, it is possible to care about everything that is going on in the world and not let it consume every single thought that you have and every single conversation that you have. A lot of us are leaving the party in droves because you guys have made it impossible to have any sort of individual thought whatsoever. Like, for instance, if I say that I like RFK Jr. because I want bad chemicals out of my food and because I want to know what's in my vaccines, you will assume that I am someone who is anti-vax and anti-science, when in fact, all three of my kids and myself have been vaccinated. I just want to tell you guys something. Every Republican most likely voted for Trump. Every person that voted for Trump is not a Republican. The fact that you guys are so against Trump's administration right now, when most of his administration is former Democrats who have now left the party, y'all look wild. I mean, the Democratic Party has brainwashed people so hard that they are actually advocating against world peace right now. People on the left would rather us keep giving money to Ukraine to fund a war than to even fathom getting Ukraine and Russia at the table to try to agree to peace. A party that I joined because they were so anti-war, and I was...
We'll leave it there, but yeah, she's like... She's just very articulate. Now, on that, what's actually happened is, so Ukraine has agreed to a 30-day ceasefire in a major war breakthrough as Putin is poised for decision. So that's because the United States has cut off all the funding, cut off everything. So he's agreed, is no doubt reluctantly, he's agreed to a ceasefire. So, but that doesn't matter. The globalists are still trying to kick off a war, and you can see these situations here. I haven't included any of the footage because it's too disturbing, but you have this situation. Now, this man, he was beheaded, and he was asked to remove his cross, and this is going on in Syria. So he has died, but you've also got on the other side, you've got the Muslim Syrians, and they're out protesting in Damascus about Jolani, who is a Hamas, an ISIS, ISIL, whatever it is, a reinvention. Jolani was basically head of it. So they're, protesting. And then on top of it, you've got these people in Australia, these Muslim clerics, and they're trying to, they're just trying to stir up everything. Like he's said here that if ASIO, the Australian Security Intelligence Organisation, likes it or not, if they want to deport me from Australia or not, jihad is a solution for the Islamic nation. So, you've got these people that are just basically out there. It's just like all of these special interest groups that are basically calling for overthrow of governments and things like that. And it's just like, why aren't these people being held to account,
Too true. Yeah, it's look, we know what they're after. They're after civil unrest on the streets, Caz, and the way they do that is target us people as they shrink our lifestyle, shrink our, and gain their control over what we can and can't do. Like 76 national parks shut, guys, since 2019. Are you kidding? And there was the first one, I think, was maybe the Grampians, Mount Warning maybe in 19, and then 2020 was the Grampians, I think. And then from there, the next 74, mate, boom, they've just come in over 3 years. Like, that's, crazy.
Oh, yeah, they're just trying to rob us of everything. All right, let's bring on the flies. We've got a lot on this week. And the Mondays at Maggie's crew is calling for tools down. It's time to stand together. A corrupt and tyrannical government is crushing industries, stripping freedoms and silencing voices. This affects every worker and every business. New South Wales under a corrupt government. Enough is enough. We won't stay silent and we demand action. So join us every Monday at the Governor's House in Sydney at 11 a.m. The 832 muster will be at Deniliquin, New South Wales, 28th to the 31st of March. And a reminder to contact the offices of Chris Minns, Ryan Park and Paul Scully. They are invited to come on the show Stop the Rot, Sack the Lot and have a debate with Dave. And the people from Protect Our Australian Heritage have been meeting at the Captain Cook statue in Hyde Park. They will be doing it again on Saturday the 22nd of February at 4 p.m. It will be a 5-day hearing commencing on the 17th of March at Wodonga Courthouse. Eric is charged with assaulting a police officer that as they drove onto his property, knocking down his wife, running her over and resulting in a broken pelvis. And there will be a Freedom Barbecue at 12 noon on Saturday the 15th of March at Ewan Park Barbecue Area, Tennant Parade, Hurlston Park. And My Place Wollongong invites you to a community meeting Saturday the 29th of March, 12 p.m, Brighton Beach, North Wollongong Harbour. Come along and meet Robin and Guru. And in Victoria, we have the following events. In Melbourne, gather at the Governor's every Saturday to end the tyranny. 10 a.m. every Saturday at the Governor Gates. And join the Justice of the People in Melbourne every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. for a remembrance at the Shrine of Remembrance, lest we forget. In Canberra, every day for over 1,000 days, the freedom fighters have been protesting at the Governor-General's. To join in, meet at the National Rock Garden at 10 a.m. to expose the 28, or tune in on YouTube at #Expose28. And Dan Tilda's Designs, who offer handmade t-shirts and custom designs, have $10 for one, $15 for two, $18 for three, plus postage. So head over to Dan Tilda's Designs on Facebook and say no to the view tax. Join the protest march on Tuesday the 18th of March at 10 a.m. Meet at Surfers Paradise Beach opposite Montmartre Cafe, corner of the Esplanade and Elkhorn Avenue. Bring placards and banners. We march to Hota Council Chambers.
And there will be a free screening of Witness Statement on the 20th of March 2025 at Emerge Church, 1 Kopararu Road, Warner, Queensland. Arrive at 5:30 for a 6 p.m. film start, 7:30 p.m. interval, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. second half. Refreshments are available. There will be cash donations accepted at the door, and it's free to book tickets. A daily prayer space is held on X at 3 p.m. So whatever you're facing, come along and we can lift you up in prayer. Every day, 3 p.m. on X. Melissa 146233923.
Okay, Southeast Queensland, get out there, get behind Witness Statement, right, and make it a good night. All right, and the other thing I've got to say is Wollongong, it's not that I've joined my place. I've got nothing, I like Dara. I like all the work they're doing, right? It's not me doing it. We've got Robin down there in Wollongong, and she wanted to give Wollongong a chance to, probably create something where, they've got a little bit of, structure, et cetera, all right? But, so listen, guys, if you want to do something in Wollongong, I know we got a lot of brochures and that and flyers coming down. There's going to be places to go and letterbox drop and that. So on the 29th of March, that is. But if you can get down this weekend and have a chat to me or Craig or Robin down at the Forest of the Fallen. Sunday this week. All right. And just come and see us, guys, and have a chat. All right. And let's see what we can do about, it's not all about the My Place. So just Robin thought that was a good thing to do. And it's at least established and we can do some stuff. I've said, yep, I'll get in with you. I'll come down and do a few talks the first few weeks and, get the thing going with us. So we need people. That's what we need, Wollongong. Okay, people. All right, I can get in and get it going, but I can't stay in there and devote all my time into My Place, guys. It just won't work. So I need help. We need help. Thanks, Robin, for putting your hand up, darling.
Now, I just want to do a shout out. So just a reminder that Eric's case is on the 17th. And the girls in Albury have been busy. So Vic Pole ran over Eric's wife. We demand transparency and justice. These are the signs they're going to have out the front. Eric Lord versus Vic Pole. Look at that. Abuse and power will not be tolerated. Go, chick. That's awesome. And police accountability, just awesome stuff. So, yeah, go, guys. Riley Gaines has taken. Actually, no. Let's have a look at Let's have a look. So what's happening is Great Britain are now calling for a strike.
We've heard the heartbreaking stories of families torn apart by violence, of communities living in fear because of lawlessness and Pakistani rape gangs. The British people deserve better. Our children deserve better. We deserve to feel safe in our own homes, on our own streets, and in our own country. But illegal immigration is just one piece of the puzzle. We are facing a two-tier justice system that seems to favour the few over the many, where the voices of ordinary Brits are ignored, whilst others are given a free pass. We're battling policies like net zero that burden our farmers, threaten our food security and drive up costs for families already struggling to make ends meet.
So their strike is on the 5th, the 24th of the 5th. And it's basically a nationwide strike. So that's what they're calling for, which is very interesting.
Well, we got to do something. I don't know what we're going to do, but we got to do something.
Well, yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Look, this story is very interesting. So what happened was InfoWars reporter was killed, okay? And then now Chase Geyser was swatted. But it's one of the things that they both had in common was apparently though the Ukraine were had problems with them. Both of them had been.
So they got him as well. Have they heard him as well?
No, he was. Those SWAT things. Those where somebody just swats, he organises a SWAT, says, I think there's drugs at this house and that sort of stuff. Yeah, so very interesting. So be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, what happens there. Right. That's it. And Riley Gaines has taken a very good swipe at the View.
Not be impressed by how unintelligent and out of touch with reality the women of the View are.
When you come in and you say, these men, these are men, competing against women. You're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything except be here. Have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue.
The level of commitment to idiocy is actually remarkable. Let me help you here, Whoopi. This issue matters because women matter, because reality matters. These are the same people who at one point screamed and screeched, follow the science. Doesn't seem like Whoopi Goldberg is following the science now. Also, literally no one thinks that men shouldn't be playing in women's sports because women are weak. It is not misogynistic to point out that mediocre men can beat exceptional women. The inverse of that is not true. Take the U.S. women's national soccer team, for example. And if that wasn't enough, watch Whoopi Goldberg blaspheme the Lord.
God doesn't make mistakes.
No.
And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah.
That's...
I feel like this goes without saying, but God does not pick and choose who he will judge on Judgment Day. Although Whoopi did get one thing right. God does not make mistakes. Therefore, he does not put people in the wrong body.
Too true. Totally agree.
All right. Well, we're pretty much at time now. Dave, did you want to close the show, wrap up and close the show? And we're being taken out by the Rocking Housewife. She does a lot of excellent work, and it's called Silent Screams.
Okay, well, guys, I think we're learning that these guys are coming at us very heavy-handedly. All right, we need to get things going. So I urge the people of Wollongong, come down and see us on Sunday. All right, let's get something going in Wollongong, whether it be or it's going to be under my place, but yeah, with Robin, and let's get some stuff going, guys. All right, let's see if we can get in here. Right, we got enough brains in here to go and win our council back, guys. I just need help to do it. Okay, so we need to get some people together here. The rest of your communities, guys, it's about local action, all right? And it's national impact, all right? If you can win back your local, they can't do anything to you nationally, all right? Because you own what's yours on the ground. And that's where we got to be heading to, guys. So, again, let's just keep going, all right? Keep moving, keep sending the emails, keep harassing people, keep sending stuff on my behalf to Clive and see if we can get, on the show, hit Michael O'Neill, hit friggin' Rennick, you know what I mean? And just let them know, you'd like to see him come on. All right. Let's see how we go. Apparently Hoodie's had Clive on. Well, okay, I'll send another email. But yeah, I think I'll get snobbed. But anyway, that's cool. I snob them or I just laugh about it, But anyway, let's go. It's game on out there, guys. Good night.
Night.
I woke up to the sound of another siren wail. Cost of living rising high. It's a never-ending trail. Homes crumbling, dreams fading. In this sunburnt land, I remember summers bright. Now it's slipping through my hands. Before I raise my hands, can you hear my silent screams? We tried to use our voices, but they silenced all our dreams. Big banks and broken promises, they lead us to despair. In the shadows of the system, do they even really care? I wander through our city, see the empty, hollow streets. Echoes of my childhood, where our laughter used to meet. Injecting us with poison while they smile in their suits. I recall the nights of hope, now it's just a bitter truth. Before I raise my hands, can you hear my silent screams? We tried to use our voices, but